Dear students, in previous period we have learnt about the breathing in their breathing rate. Let's see about how do we breathe. We'll learn about the mechanism of breathing. Okay, how this process is going on. See students, normally we take in air through our nostrils. Here, see, these are the nostrils. Okay, this is the nasal passage it is. So through here we are taking inside the air. Okay, so this is the these nostrils. Okay, so see, and when we inhale air means what? We are taking inside air. Okay, and exhale means giving out the air, that is, okay, taking inside oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Okay, inhale and exhale it is. So when we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils here, okay, and into the nasal cavity, that passes here to nasal cavity, and from the nasal cavity the air reaches lungs here. Okay, that reaches here. Students, inside taken air reaches in lungs here through the windpipe. Okay, this is the windpipe, through the windpipe that reaches in lungs. Okay, lungs are present in the chest cavity. This cavity is the chest cavity. This is surrounded by ribs on the sides. See, ribs are there here. These are the ribs. Both sides have. Okay, so these are the ribs. A large muscular sheet called diaphragm. Okay, this is the diaphragm. See this. Okay, this is muscular sheet. It is, okay, means this is made up with muscle, so it is muscular sheet. It is called as the diaphragm. This diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. Okay, breathing, students, breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and rib cage. Okay, during the inhalation, inside we are taking air, no, that is inhalation. These ribs are there, no, ribs move off, that is move off and outwards, and diaphragm moves the down. Okay, this movement increases the space in our chest cavity, and air rushes into the lungs, means air moves, that air moves into the lungs here. See, so then the lungs get filled with air. During exhalation means we are giving out air, that is carbon dioxide, that is the exhalation, that is, okay. So that time ribs, okay, these are ribs, these ribs move down and inwards, while diaphragm moves up and former position. Okay, and this reduces the size of the chest cavity and air pushed out of the lungs. Okay, so these movements in our body can felt easily. See, we can feel that very easily. Take a deep breath. Okay, and keep your palm on the abdomen. Feel the movement of the abdomen. Then you can understand this. Okay. Students, one more thing, listen. Smoking damages the lungs. Smoking also linked to the cancer, and it must be avoided. Our lung will fail down due to the smoking, and it is the cause for cancer. And also see, the air around us has a various types of unwanted particles also, means air is a mixture. There some unwanted particles also are there in air. such as a smoke, dust, pollens, etc. Okay. Here pollen means, students, that is a powdery substance it is. Okay. When we inhale the particles, that time that get trapped in the air that are present in our nasal cavity. Means where it is? Here. Mucus and hair are there. Okay. That is nasal cavity. So, however, sometimes these particles may get past the hair in the nasal cavity. Okay. So this may be irritate the lining of the cavity. So as a result of which we sneeze. Okay. And sneezing expels these foreign particles. Means whatever that particles are there, no, harmful particles that from the inhaled air and dust. Okay. That free due to the sneezing, and clean air enters our body. Okay. Also you take care about when you are sneeze, you should cover your nose so that the foreign particles you expel are not inhaled by other persons. Okay, not impact to the other persons. So take care about that. To understand the mechanism of breathing, we'll see now activity number 10.5. Okay, watch this video.
Mechanism of breathing in human beings. Let us understand the process of breathing through a simple experiment. Take a transparent plastic bottle. Remove its bottom. Then take a rubber cork, Y-shaped plastic tube and two deflated balloons. Now to each fork end of the tube, fix the balloons. Cap the bottle with cork. Put the tube attached to the balloons inside the bottle from its open bottom. Make a hole in the cork and pass the open end of the tube outside the bottle through the hole. Now tie a rubber sheet at the bottom of the bottle tightly so that no air can pass through it. Pull down the rubber sheet and watch the balloons get inflated. Now push the rubber sheet inside the bottle and watch the balloons collapse. How do the balloons get inflated and deflated when we pull or push the rubber sheet? When we pull the rubber sheet outwards, the space inside the bottle increases and the air inside the bottle becomes lighter. So the dense air rushes into the balloons from outside. The air enters the tube through the opening outside the bottle. Then the air travels through the tube and enters the two branches of the tubes and into the balloons. When we push the rubber sheet inside, the space in the jar is reduced and the pressure is increased. This pushes the air out of the balloons. The balloons get deflated. Now let us see how this correlates to the breathing system. The bottle is like a human body. There is an empty space or a cavity inside the body filled with air called body cavity. The rubber sheet is the diaphragm which divides the body into two parts. The upper part is the chest cavity. The Y-shaped tube is the trachea and the bronchi. The balloons are like the lungs which are situated in the chest cavity. Now let us see what happens in our body. The opening of tube outside the bottle is the opening in the nose, which is the nostrils. When diaphragm goes down, it makes the chest cavity larger. In the same manner, when we pull the rubber sheet, the space inside the bottle gets larger. The oxygen-rich air from outside enters the windpipe through the nostrils. It happens just like what we saw in the experiment. Air enters the bronchi. like the air enters the two branches of the tubes in the experiment. Then finally, air goes to the lungs and the lungs get inflated as the balloons in the experiment. Similarly, when we push the rubber sheet or the diaphragm, it moves the air up and the cavity becomes denser. There is more pressure on the balloons or the lungs, and air gets out of the body through the same path as before. That means from lungs to the bronchi, windpipe, nasal cavity, nostrils, and finally out of the body. Thus, the breathing is controlled by the movement of diaphragm. Diaphragm is a membrane which is present between the chest and abdomen. The movement of diaphragm is controlled by a group of muscles. In humans, breathing involves two main steps, namely inhalation and exhalation. Taking in air which is rich in oxygen is called inhalation. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves down, in other words, contracts. The rib cage expands. This leads to the expansion inside the lungs. When the diaphragm contracts, the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. As a result, the oxygen-rich air from outside enters the lungs through the nostrils and then to the alveolar sacs. Giving out air which is rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves up, in other words, relaxes. The rib cage contracts. This leads to contraction of the lungs. When the diaphragm relaxes, the volume of the thoracic cavity decreases. As a result, the carbon dioxide-rich air moves out of the lungs through the same path but in the opposite direction. A human adult at rest on an average breathes about 28,800 times per day. In other words, 12 to 20 times per minute.
Today enough this much. Next we will continue remaining